What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here. And as a firearm review channel, content providers, whatever you want to call it, we always have people's opinions in the comments. And that's awesome. As long as it's kept mostly respectful, as I said mostly, because sometimes we get passionate about our stuff, I have no problem with it. But a debate that is always under my comments is, why don't you have a light on your EDC? Or someone says, man, you shouldn't have a light on your EDC when I'm showing my SIG P365X or whatever. And so it's like, what is the answer? And here's the thing. It's like everything else with firearms. There is only one answer, and it's what works for you. See, there's people that work overnights, right? And they're going to be constantly in the dark. I think having a light on your firearm would be huge. Also, the handheld is where I would say what most people should carry. But I'll get into it. There are people like me that get up. I get up around 3 a.m. It's dark out. It's still dark until a couple hours into work. And so basically, for that time period, I've tried carrying a light. I can't get over how heavy it is. Carrying certain firearms are already heavy as it is, but adding a light is just more and more mass. And on top of that, once I get to my job, I switch over to a pocket pistol. So anyways, it made no sense for me to keep a light on my everyday carry firearm. Now, night sights is a must. If you are carrying a firearm, best believe you should have night sights. And here's the thing. Most people say, oh, well, if you have a blacked out rear or whatever, you're not going to be able to see what you're doing. That's not true. Eyes adjust to darkness. Now, it's not going to be perfect. You're not going to see perfectly. But if you ever do this test, wake up in the middle of the night, you hear, you can do this without this event happening. But like, for instance, I woke up once from a noise. I thought there was something going on at my house, whatever. Got up. And so I just grabbed my firearm and was going. And then I wondered to myself, I made sure everything was fine. I wondered to myself, could I even see a blacked out rear? Like, do these sights even make sense? So it's just one of those moments where I'm like rethinking my setup. So I go into the bathroom, obviously, firearm's clear. And I'm looking in the dark, pitch black, as dark as it gets. And I noticed I could still make out my rear posts. Not perfectly, but I could see they were there. And especially with that glowing front, you could actually get a sight picture. Now, it's not perfect, and obviously it takes time for your eyes to adjust. But in most houses, for home defense and stuff like that, there's some form of a light on, whether it's a front porch light, a back deck light, a light from, a TV that was left on, a light that's left over the kitchen stove, whatever it is. There's some form of little light. So at home, I have a light on my home defense firearm. I think it's necessary at home. I think you have to, because chances are if someone's breaking into your house, you need to protect yourselves. If you hear something happening to your door at 1 a.m., you need to protect yourself. My family knows if you're coming to my house and it's at a weird time, you will do everything in your power to let me know. You will make it known. You will let my wife know. You will let someone know you are coming. And that never happens. No one does that anyways. But if they did, I let everyone know. Make sure, because the world is crazy right now. Also at home, the reason why light is good is a lot of us have home security cameras. And on top of that, we have a dog. We have all this stuff that can help as barriers to where you might not even need that light. Those people might get scared off before they even make it into your house. But having that light is crucial. Things can be chaotic. Not everyone has cameras and stuff. But you do need to be able to identify, because, the second decision between, okay, this is someone I need to take care of, or it's not, that could be a crucial second. So that light is huge. But for everyday carry, I don't think it's necessary to carry with a light on your firearm, because especially if you work during the day and you're out of the house during the day, that just doesn't make sense, lugging around the extra weight and mass. You know what I mean? And like I said, I carry just a small little pocket pistol and feel fully capable all day long. So, and even then when I'm in the dark, night sights. So that's just how I feel about it. Everyone is different. If you carry with a light on it and that's what works for you, and you know that that's how you should do things, that's perfect. That's what we do this for. It's for us. See, and that's what a lot of people get mixed up with, is they say, oh, Spin Firearms, you keep doing all this Glock 26 content. Well, I don't like the Glock 26. And that I have no problem with that. You don't have to watch the 26 content, but I can only speak for me. When I shoot, that is the best. When it comes to magazine compatibility, no one can argue that. When it comes to shootability, nobody can argue that. But when it comes to your fitting in your hand, how you shoot it, how it works with you, I can't argue with that. I can only agree with that, because that's your opinion. You know, it's what works for you from your experience. So I can't argue with that. And same goes for me. So over time, how I found my carry setups is literally trial and error. I mean, it's bad. I made a video about this a while ago, but there's a day where I was carrying a Beretta Apex carry, sorry, and not the A1, so it had a better trigger on it before. But the Beretta carry APX, basically a small APX single stack, and the trigger was terrible on it, but I liked how it felt in my hand, and I shot it really well. Trigger was horrible, but as time started going on, you start getting in, seeing scenarios play out on TV or hearing about self-defense encounters, and you're wondering to yourself, can I really defend myself with this firearm in the way that I would like to? And immediately I'm like, trigger, And then I moved over to the Mossberg MC2SC. I was like, oh my goodness, this makes a world of difference. So everything is trial and error, and you have to test these things. Like, what a lot of firearm channels won't tell you is, okay, this firearm, they're sitting there saying this firearm is so good, but they don't say, oh, but it might be bad for you. Or this firearm's terrible. There's the number one thing that sticks out to me is the Smith & Wesson CSX. That drove me insane. And actually, this is what's crazy about it. So this weekend, I actually spoke with a Smith & Wesson, what do you call it? I'm blanking on the word. Sorry. Someone that works for the corporate office. I talked to the guy in person, Smith & Wesson. The guy was super cool, super nice, super friendly. And I made this joke, like a little joke. I'm like, if you need me to help review stuff and blah, 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 because I love the CSX. I said, if you want me to review any products for you, I would love to review some firearms for you, the metal frame, So we're in a little bit of talks. But I said, I got to be honest with you. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you right now about the CSX. And he goes, oh no. Is this another influencer thing? I said, no, I love the CSX. I said, big influencers ruin that for you. He thought I was immediately going to say, oh, the CSX is terrible. I said, I love it. It is a great firearm that has been ruined. He goes, yeah, we know. So that's like the power of the influencer, is that like it prevents you from going out and trying it yourself, which, to be honest, like that's just not how it works. People, they need to be more open and say, it doesn't work for me. It's terrible. It doesn't fit my hands, but it might for you. So that's just my thoughts on it. I thought I'd go on a little rant. We're all going to have a different setup, but you know what the thing that we all have in common is? It's the best setup for us at that time. So thanks for watching, guys.